Hello and welcome back to part 3 of your ACCA SBL June 2024 pre-scene information run through, review and analysis. We're going to get straight into following on from parts 1 and 2. If you've not checked it out, I've put in the description below the full playlist on my YouTube channel. Check it out there. Also, if you'd like my exclusive SBL notes, there's a link in the description. You can download them. And last but not least, I am affiliated and associated with the Stranti. If you'd like to access their free pre-scene SBL pack, along with their mocks, any courses, I am associated with them. So if you were to purchase anything through the links for pure transparency on the channel, it would go towards supporting the channel, creating more videos to help people to pass their examinations, like yourself on there. So I hope it helps, along with the notes, as you can see, because they're very rigorous. A lot of time went into these on here, and they're really highlighting all the different specific details relating back to the scenario that you need to be applying in your examination that the market is looking for. So following on from part 2, we got down to innovation and development. And first for your notes on there is the technology points here definitely link into the pestle model on there, and also threats in the SWOT analysis. Classic theories tested and for you to apply in the SBL exam. So definitely get that noted down, because when we apply that to Praecuro Vet Services Ltd now, we have technology on here is one of the main challenges actually in the pet vet services industry. And when you go through it, PVS is not adopting artificial intelligence, machine learning on there, and it's really struggling in terms of the capital intensity. In other words, high levels of investment required for technology, because they're not one of the big multinational companies, which for your points on here, the big multinational companies are leveraging and using technology to their advantage on that. So definitely get that down. They're lagging behind on technology and their competitors are using it more effectively. It's also worth noting there is no board member for PVS who is actually sort of focused or in charge of technology. So you get the impression it's sort of, oh, is it your job? Is it my job? And then that is why I believe that PVS have sort of lagged behind. And really, when we get into a few more details, you can see on the left-hand side now, they're just sort of really behind the curve. It's expensive to deliver for this technology and the different softwares. You'll see later on in the notes, and if you've downloaded them yourself, you've already seen my notes on it. But PVS actually have an off-the-shelf, just sort of bog standard software that you can get anywhere really. Whereas some of the multinationals, I would expect, as we can see from the advances in technology, are more bespoke on there. It's expensive to deliver in terms of the technology, but the advantages are that from the software and the communication with the clients, that is where you can utilize the services more effectively. And we're actually told this from the large competitors. So that's GLOAS Group, Bellstone Group, and Hewed Group. You can see up on the top left. They use their services more effectively, and these are the largest firms in the market. So again, PVS lagging behind, and are the big companies in this case scenario just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, acquiring more and more companies on that? We're also told telehealth is providing increased flexibility and convenience for clients. This is the only other place they've mentioned telehealth, and it's that online option. I'll just scroll it back up. So on the right-hand side, in terms of a source of competition, this is an online competitor offering 24 hours a day, 7 days a week communication, all remotely. And again, another service that PVS does not offer on there, which is linking into why their sales are actually decreasing. We then come on to the industry bodies, regulations, legislation now. And short and sweet on here, you need the ability to practice. There are sort of professional bodies, and it's all about accountability to the general public, the profession, and the patients and the vets on there. So these link into internal and external stakeholder groups so that you can get it down in your notes. And we have to be careful about the public interest and conflicts of interest, how PVS is actually being run. One key thing for you to note down is, and they sort of rave on about it on their website later on in a following video that you can check out as well, is that we have the SPP is the sort of accredited standard on here. but it's a case of the majority of all the pet owners actually have it. You can't get the gist that PVS for your notes has SPP, but this is the key thing. We are not told who of the 5% of the market hold the higher level. You'd have thought if PVS actually had it, they would have put it on their website, or maybe they're going for it. But we don't know if it's large multinationals. It could be something that could come up on the unseen information on your exam day. So make sure you get that down in your notes. Or maybe PVS are actually trying to get it. Or maybe you could actually put it down as a recommendation that they should be going for the higher level. Again, it all depends on what requirement is set on your exam day, but having these things in your head about the pre-seen information is only going to benefit your answer. We also have on there about the Ireland vet unions. These are for the vets and the vet nurses. And this is important as, again, we could have an ethical issue. Again, it could link into the legal parts of PESTEL on there. And PVS has currently a staff turnover of 19%. That's on page 9 later on. The average for the sector is about 13%, so they're doing worse than the sector on there. So again, it could just be a sort of curveball thrown at you in the exam. We're then told about several legal obligations, again in terms of compliance, the request for a written prescription, linking into the L of PESTEL again for the legal factors. We're not given any information in terms of PVS. Do they actually do this or not? So requesting written prescriptions, we're getting into really the small details on there. But in terms of compliance and the prescriptions, think about it from the sort of staff and client satisfaction rate on there, that they want their pets to be looked after, and the people who are looking after them, they want them to be enjoying what they're doing. But the staff and client satisfaction rates you'll see on page 9 again are only going down. I think it's at 60 out of 100, the lowest it's been in 5 years. We're also talking about on here about different other cheaper mechanisms about getting prescriptions, and this is where you get the likes of telehealth who are undercutting PVS and taking away market share. With last but not least, we have the 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 days a year emergency service, not applicable for PVS. The veterinarians provide emergency cover around these sort of opening hours. So it's quite simply putting it, it's PVS are open 8:30 to 5:30, Monday to Friday, but the clients want every day of the week, evenings and weekends, what PVS are not actually providing. Now we're going to get into what PVS actually offer on here. And this is their background. So they're the 5th largest pet organisation in Ireland, as we've seen before, well established, 6% market share overall. And this is where it was established by PTR, who we'll come on to later, is one of still on the board and has a percentage ownership. Most of its growth has been actually organic, so they've not been really sort of taking on many other organisations. But in recent years, they've actually acquired a few smaller independent businesses, which have actually been quite successful in how they've been integrated. So this is following the approach of what is going currently on in the market. And for your notes, I would actually say quite a positive thing for PVS in terms of their actual growth. Because as well, for your notes, 85% of their actual the services and the locations for the veterinary practices are in the city centres, and that is what the clients actually want. This is an interesting point on here. So PVS runs 168 clinics, so it's not a small organisation at all, and it says in the south of Ireland. So when I read it through, I went, well, why are they not going for the north? Is it more profitable in the north, and then that's why it's gone a bit downhill in the south, why they're making less money? The next key thing is some of the practices, the vet practices that they have sometimes only 1 or 2 veterinarians. So what if one of them goes off sick, or what if one of them was to leave? That's going to be a massive impact on the organisation, and it could just shut down the practice so that they couldn't actually deal with any of the pets on there. PVS's head office is also based in the south on there and provides a variety of different services that links into, as you can see on the right hand side, the board and the organisational structure. But we've not actually given any indication if the board of directors are actually based there, are they overseas? With this whole world of remote working now, there could be some flexibility in it, and again, it could come up on the on the unseen information on your exam day. We're then given some more details as to PVS, the number of staff, vets, vet nurses, support staff, just giving you a sort of scale for it. And those figures are going to be really key that you have in the back of your mind, that if anything relates to staff, those are the numbers you're going to have to apply on the exam day. We're also told that the ratio of vets to vet nurses to support staff is broadly in line with industry averages. So you've got to say to yourself, why are they losing money if they've still got the same setup as everyone else? And it's got to be linking to something on the lines of price and margins. And they've also got the same financial year as the actual information we were told earlier about the whole industry, having a current revenue for the recent period in 2024, or 2004 shall I say, of $2.5 billion on there. Well, that, ladies and gentlemen, before we get on to the strategic position, going into a few more details, will take us through part 3. If you have any other questions, what we've gone through so far, leave me a comment below. Happy to help on that. I'll see you on the other side for episode number 4 now. Make sure you click the link up above. You'll find it there. And click the link in the description below to download these concise notes. So thank you very much. Like the video, and I'll see you on the other side for part 4. Thank you.